Good morning, good peoples. It is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation here for your awaited Group C distributions, declarations. All right, let's get started. I know everybody wants to talk, or a lot of people are interested in Cony. I know some of you guys love Hooy, all of the stuff out there, Carvani. Let's take a look. I've been collecting a lot of data that I'm going to start doing dailies on another 3 or 4 funds. So having that data help me here, but it's not always the whole game. So you guys probably remember on Cony, I don't even know that I have all of it open. But the net result, I wanted to say $1, guys. I just want to, but I don't trust YieldMax that they're going to pay that much out. Yeah, we rolled on Friday. We have about $1.25 worth of cash. Okay. There was some, let me go find that data. It's not that important. If you saw my video on Saturday for Friday, you know what I showed you. So there's enough, even though there's a big share count there to cover the amount of shares. I'm being conservative. I'm hoping they pay it. If they pay anything less than 70 cents, I'll be really upset. Okay. So I think 70 to 90 cents. I'm going in the middle of my gut and I'm saying 80 cents. Remember, I mean, we're under $9, right? It's like Misty being $20 and paying $2. You're not getting $2 much anymore. So the big payers, even when Pulte is 65, I think when we got 70, we were over 70. When we got $7, we were over 70. So that's what I'm going with. 115% yield. Cony right now is like 65.20 out there. Let me see if there's any update. Oops, I don't want to look at Cony. I want to look at coin. You can be looking at the amounts, but I need to discuss these with you. 62.4, okay, is where we are right now. So I got 80 cents, guys. Let's jump into fiat. Fiat's the opposite. So as Coney's surging, it's the inverse, right? I had them down. Look at this. They've paid 90 cents when this is 43 cents. So they've been 60 cents, 50 cents. Where are they? Look at this. April, May, $7, $5, $4. They're trending in the wrong because we're going up. We've gone from 823 to 888 to 898. I mean, we were down in the sevens again. So this big surge, I'll be happy. I mean, would I like $1? You bet. I'd be ecstatic. So I got 22.225 Msfo. Okay, this is some of the new stuff that I got for you guys now that I'm starting to track and do. So I roll it up in various pages here. I got all the cutoffs, I got all the active, what they did. I'm doing holdings. So let's see, where do I have what I just was showing you? I have it over in payment. I have distribution schedules for all the fun. So this is kind of a summary. I don't put my estimate here. I'll leave it on the current sheet. So they didn't make a lot of money, Microsoft, MSFO. They lost a little bit, a penny a share, because they got a lot of shares, right? They're a mature fund. So no real money on the synthetic that they've captured. What do they have on paper profit? 62 cents, right? If you go out and calculate all that, they paid 54, okay? Then what I'm going to do is tell you what I've got them at. I've got them at 27. They didn't roll any of the money, right? They've paid 28 before, 36. Maybe let's go 28. but not a lot. I mean, they got, look at this IV. I just looked it up again, 1390, guys. So it's, well, it is up over the previous, but again, you would have thought they would have captured some of that synthetic profit because they clearly have. What did I say, 62 cents? So I've got 28. Let's look at AMD. AMD is trending up. 702 April 757 $8. It's got a 40.5. I don't have them paying a lot because guess what? Now I got an awful lot of detail on them. So here we are. Let me make sure. Yep. I've got all the AMD. They didn't really do anything in the weeklies that justified us. Well, they lost 23 cents, right? You see, these are all the trades and accounted for and matched except for the open ones still to go. But we close out on 620 in this group. So everything that's happened has happened. So I don't really have it for you guys here. I'm saying that they got this 62 cents. Let's make sure that, let me make sure the share count is not using, oh yeah, I got a problem here. This is more money. It's using it's using the Microsoft numbers. Let me go out. Sorry guys, when you build this stuff and you drag everything around, let me go look at AMD. Oh, AMD is showing 19.3 in its thing. What about Msfo? Msfo is only showing 7 million. Interesting. Okay, so that's the difference. So there was a better share count. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let that remain and I'll fix that on my end. You know what? They have the paper profits. I don't know if they're going to pay it. I'm going to change this to 30 cents and leave it there. All right. Nfly. Well, I got the data on Nfly. Let's see what we've got here. Nfly has earned 5 cents, paid 68 cents previously, back on 530, the payday. So payday 627, all right, they've earned only 5 cents. These shouldn't be relative to anything because we haven't started until Monday's trading. All right, so they have $2.08 in paper. And they've earned 4 cents on the synthetic. So you could say they've earned 9 cents. Well, what am I going to pay them? They got 208, but they didn't claim any of that. So let's go and look for Netflix. I have them paying 61 cents. So they're getting a partial piece of what they have in the door. And that's right around their 43.60, their current. So remember, guys, there's a couple of ways. Did they earn any money? Do they have paper profits in their synthetic? What are their weeklies contributing, if anything? And are they trending up or down in previous months in their share price? So this is pretty stable for Netflix here. It's paid $1, it's paid 40, it's paid 50, it's paid 90, but we're right in this 60 cents. All right, ABNY, I'm not tracking all of the detail. I may or may not. I'll do enough so I can just do the summary for you guys. But I went pretty mediocre here. I looked at, hey, it's trending down. It was 1223, 1188, 1186. It's got a pretty low current IV. I went with 32 cents here. That's my logic. Okay, PP. I'm also not accounting for this guy. They're just, I'm adding Cvny because a lot of you have asked. I may start covering it daily because I have all the data. So on PP, I have them trending down a little. This could go many ways. This could go higher. This could be 30. It could be 40. Do I want to raise it? Nah, I'm already over, but part of that. I'm going to leave it, guys. All right, on Cvny, I have the goods on Cvny. So let's take a look at my sheet on Cvny. What's wonderful about this, just like with Hooy, a lot of you guys called out to me, hey, Bruce, could you cover Hooy, Hood or Hooy? Could you cover Cvny, Carvana? And my answer to the people at the time is be careful in chasing yield. These new funds that come in, they have a lot of FOMO in the marketplace. Okay. And that FOMO says, oh, yeah, they're paying great and the price is going nuts. But remember, it's a retail phenomena. So did .coms. So we're very close to the all-time highs. And I think the market's going to struggle to go up from here. Yeah, we could run up another 5, 10, 15, 20% and be a melt up and then have a pretty hard hit. I think we're rolling over and not likely to keep running in the things that have been running. So retail brokerages that are hot, but there's always a better one or a better mousetrap somewhere else. In other words, the intellectual property is not so unique to that enterprise that nobody else can do it. So I say be careful. Now, if you're shrewd, almost like a trader mentality, then run out, buy some of this till it runs up, take the big things, and then sell it all and get out. But to me, I don't see the IP in Carvana intellectual property that makes them unique, that a Palantir or even the hardware being really unique with Jensen Huang in NVIDIA. And even they're struggling because they've run up so much, right? So you have a combination of things at play here. But with the share count being small, again, look at the paper profit, 689. But remember, if the market melted down 20, it's not going to do this, but if the market melted down in 3 days, 25%, that would just all disappear. And then they would have paid you out money. And so, I'm seeing them since they didn't roll any. They paid 459 last week, but they lost 888. So they lost 56 cents on their weeklies for this period, right? The period of 523 through 620 where we account for it. And even though this is up there, I'm saying they're paying $3 and they're paying, about half of what they have there. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that, guys. Whoops, I said $3. No, I'm giving it 201. Because look at this. They've had $4, they had over $4, but they paid this. But to me, I wasn't doing the accounting work to know these values. I'm doing the accounting work now, and they would have to count the paper money. I was very upset. There was $8 in the kitty on Ybit back when I was covering it last year, August, something like that. And I said, hey guys, I think we're going to get a 350 payment. They paid like $1. Everybody was really upset because we ran it up from, $20 to $23 or something. And everybody's all excited about it getting 350. Me too. And after they did that, I said, I'm done. You collected that. You had it in the door, at least half of it. And then the other half was in paper value. And they didn't pay it out at all. So again, we don't make the ultimate decision. They do. So I got 201. Sorry to be long, guys, but I'd rather give you a lot more data so you understand this. All right, the rest of the stuff, these are what I call swags, right? Simple, wild-ass guesses. You know, Ulti wouldn't take a rocket scientist to say it's going to be between 8 and 9 with an occasional run up to like 11 or 12. So I do look and I say, hey, it's trending. It's gone 596, 610, 620. You know, maybe we'll make a 9.5. I made an 8.9 last week and it was 9. So, I don't spend a ton of time on these because to me, it's just not necessary. I think they're popular, especially like Lfgy, which is a pretty good pair. So you guys can see them. Got 19 for Ymax, 26. These are high IVs, guys. 26 for R Diddy. I got, sorry, 26 for Ymag, 34 for R Diddy, 47.5 for Lfgy. Caputi 29.50. I got 26.50 for S Diddy, and I got 30 cents for Q Diddy. Now I know a lot of you, the semiconductors have been moving. It just seems over FOMO'd to me in that. I got it paying because it's moving up, guys. I got it paying 45. Maybe it's going to be 48. Let's see. And on Hooy, let me show you my work on Hooy. I got here we go. Too many sheets open. All right. So when you collect all the data, this is like their holding sheet. And I simply just extract out the call and the put and use the value, and we work off the big advantage of these new funds, as I've shared with you guys. It only has 175,000. Do you know Cony has 146 million shares? Misty, I think it's 277 million. It's not right off the top of my head. But guys, they don't really have any money in the door. Very little. So off of that, sell the damn synthetic. Now, it's out 7/18, right? It's out another, 25 days. But when you're trading at the stock's trading like 65 on a 49, that's why you have this crazy almost $30 premium on there, right? There's time premium left. That's part of it. And then there's just how far over the 49 am I? And that's why this thing is 11 cents. Take it off the table. This thing could flip or change in a minute. So that's not a good indication. Are they going to pay you $12 or $14? Hell no. But it is interesting to see what that looks like. And that's what I do on some of these that I don't have every bit of detail, but in getting every bit of detail, all I'm going to do is have the weeklies, but the synthetic is always the part. Now, I get to find out if they sold any other synthetics out. So having said that, I'm going to give them $4, right? They paid $3.03, so I'm going with $4 here. For Hooy. The IV is 60.10. So based on its price, look at it, 65. It's a 64. So in summary, there are, guys, if anybody wants to look. Cony, 80 cents. Fiat, 22.5. Microsoft, Msfo, 28. Amdy, 30. Netflix, 61. ABNB, 32. PP, 32. Carvani, 201. And then you guys can see on the weeklies with Hooy being a monthly, but it's there at $4. All right, guys, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. Hope you enjoyed this. Be back next week for Group D. We got Misty in Group D. and Winter and several others. All right, guys. Bye for now. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Have a great one. Bye for now.